Okay, so corrections for the work yesterday. First one was question 12. I think everybody was fine with the first one, was calculate the probability that he stops at all 3 sets. So if he stops at all 3 sets, that means it stops at the first and stops at the second and stops at the third. Okay. So 0.6 times 0.7 times 0.8 will give me 0.336 for that one there. Okay, I think everybody got that absolutely fine. A lot of people struggled with the second one. If he arrives late if he has to stop at any 2 sets of traffic lights. Now, if he's late if he stops at 2 sets, then he must also be late if he stops at the third one. Okay, so all he has to stop at least 2 traffic lights, basically. So he can stop at the first, which is 0.6, and he can stop at the second, which is 0.7, and he can not stop at the third. So if he doesn't stop at the third, we're talking 0.2 there. Okay, so 0.6 times 0.7 times 0.2, that will give me 0.084. He can stop at the first. He can not stop at the second. So the probability that he doesn't stop at the second is 0.3 if the probability that he stops is 0.7. And then he can stop again at the third. Okay, so 0.6 times 0.3 times 0.8. Okay, so remember, obviously, the probability of stopping are these. So the opposite of that, or 1 minus those numbers, will give you the probability of not stopping. Okay, so now the probability that he does not stop at the first would be 0.4. And then he does stop at the next 2. So 0.4 times 0.7 times 0.8. So 0.224. Okay, now he's late at any one of these. He's also late if he stops at all 3 of them, which is the first answer we got. Sorry, I'm doing this as I go. So 0.788 is the probability that he is late. Okay, moving on to the next one. 10 discs are drawn in succession and without replacement from a bag containing 6 blue and 8 yellow. Both discs are blue. Okay, so the probability that they're both blue, we'd have 6 out of 14 times 5, because it's not replaced, out of 13. So, and I think everybody was fine there with 15 over 91. The second one, a few people struggled with, the probability that one disc is blue and the other is yellow. Okay, now, you could have the first one being blue. So if the first one is blue, you've got 6 out of 14. And the second one being yellow would mean you have 8 out of 13 left. Okay, or you could have the yellow first, so 8 out of 14, and then 6 out of 13. Okay, so when you add those together, you will get 48 out of 91. Okay, a lot of you here got 24 out of 91, which was either one of those. Okay, these will be the same probability regardless, because you're multiplying the top line and the bottom line are the same numbers. Okay, but there are 2 ways to do it. The blue can come first or the yellow can come first. So if there are 2 ways of arranging that, 48 over 91. Okay. Question 11. A committee contains 4 Irish, 7 French, 5 German representatives. 3 of these are chosen at random to form a subcommittee. Find the probability that all 3 are French. Again, I think everybody was fine with this. If all 3 are French, you've got 7 over 16 times 6 over 15 times 5 over 14, and you should have got 1 over 16. Okay, which is fine. That all three are the same nationality. So the probability that you've got 3 Irish, or the probability that you've got 3 German, or the probability that you've got 3 French. Okay, or sorry. Yeah. Now, the probability that you've got 3 French, you already have, which is 1 over 16. The probability that they're all German, you'll have 5 over 16 times 4 over 15 times 3 over 14. We should be able to get that to be 1 over 56. And the probability that the 3 are Irish is 4 over 16, 3 over 15, 2 over 14, which will be 1 over 140. Okay, I only need one of them, so I'm adding them all up, and I should get 7 over 80. Okay, the 2 French and 1 German representatives are chosen. So if I have 2 French, okay, then I've got 7 over 16, and I've got 6 over 15, and I've got my 5 German over 14 left. Okay. And again, it doesn't matter if you start with the German, because you'll still be multiplying 16, 15, 14 on the bottom and 7, 6, 5. Even if you start with the German, if it's 5 over 16 to start off with, and 7 over 15 times 6 over 14 is fine. Ultimately, there for that, you will get 1 over 16. Okay. Okay. However, there are 3 ways of choosing the place for the German. Okay, I could have the German chosen first, second, or third. Okay, like I said there, it doesn't matter how you get your 1/16. Okay, but there are 3 different ways I could do it. I could choose the German first, and then 2 French. I could choose a French person, a German person, and a French person, or I could choose the French, and then the German. Okay, so there are 3 positions, and I only have 1 German to place. Okay, so there are 3 ways in which I can do this. So we should have 1/16 by 3. You don't need this bit here. You can do it with logic either, and you'll get 3 over 16. Okay, and finally, I know I'm squishing in here. I didn't give myself enough room. You have that all 3 chosen are of different nationalities. Okay, so that means you are choosing 1 Irish. Okay, so let's say we pick the Irish person first. You've got 4 over 16. Then you've got 1 French, so 7 over 15 left. And then you've got 5 Germans out of the 14 left. Okay, that gives you 1 over 24. And again, there are different ways of ordering this. Okay, so in this time, I haven't really just got 1 person to organise. I'm organising all 3. So either I can choose the Irish person first, second, or third, the French person first, second, or third, and the German person 1 first, second, or third. And again, you can do this by logic, or you can use your permutations, okay, and say I've got 3 spaces. I've got 3 available for the first one. Whatever I choose, I'll have 2 left, and whatever I choose, 3 by 2 by 1, gives me 6 possible places. So 1 over 24 times 6 will give me 1/4. Okay, for that last one. Okay. Going into question 12, 3 different cards are selected at random from a standard pack of cards. What is the probability of getting a heart, a diamond, and a spade? Okay, so probability of getting a heart, there are 13 hearts out of 52. There is 13 diamonds out of 51 because I've already selected a card. And there are 13 spades out of 50, again, because I've now selected 2 cards. So that will give me 169 out of 10,200, which I think a lot of you got. Okay, where you didn't go after this, okay, was that there were different ways of arranging these, because I didn't have to get a heart first, then a diamond, then a spade. Okay, again, similar to the last one, there are 3 spaces here. I have 3 options that I can take as the first one. Whatever I take, I'll be left with 2 options and 1 then. Okay, which will give me 6 total options. Okay, so I'm multiplying this by 6, which will give me 169 over 1,700. The second one, 2 hearts and a diamond. Okay, so if I've got 2 hearts, this time I am going again. The probability of getting a heart is going to be 13 over 52. If I get a second heart, then it will be 12 over 51. And then the probability of getting a diamond third would be back to 13 diamonds over 50. Okay, now regardless, I'll go from 52, 51, 50, okay, cards. And regardless of what way I order it, I'll still have 2 13s and a 12 because I'm taking 1 from the heart. So I'll start with 13 hearts and then I go down to 12 hearts for the second, but there'll always be 13 diamonds because I'm only selecting 1 of them anyway. So when I multiply these, I have 13 over 850. Okay, now that's specifically for that order. Okay, for heart, heart, diamond. Okay, I have to think that there are other options. Okay. All right. Okay. Next one, question 13. 4 different cards are selected at random from a standard pack of cards. What is the probability of getting 2 hearts and 2 spades? Okay, so let's look at one of these probabilities. First, let's look at the probability of getting a heart, a spade, okay, in that particular order. Okay, so I have 13 hearts out of 52. Then I'll be down to 12 hearts out of 52. When I'm talking about a spade, I'm back up to 13 because, sorry, and that should be 51 because I'm using a card every time. 13 out of 50 and then 12 out of 49. And again, I think most people got this far where it was 78 out of 20,825. Okay, now the number of ways of choosing 2 places out of 4. Okay, so I have to choose, well, I have to arrange these in a space. Okay, so remember there are 2 hearts and 2 spades. So I have 4 places and I want to arrange them into 2. Okay, so there are 6 ways of choosing 2 places out of 4 for the hearts. Okay, so I'm only dealing with hearts or spades to arrange because the other one will just slot in around them. Okay, so this is to arrange just the hearts. Okay, there are 4 places and I have 2 hearts. So there are 6 positions that the 2 hearts can go in. Okay, then the spades will slot in around the hearts. Okay, so I've got 78 over 20,825 multiplied by 6, 468 over 20,825. Okay, just go back to this, make sure you understand this bit here. Okay, I can't arrange 2 things at the same time. So I'm arranging just the hearts in the 4 positions and the spades will slot in around them. Okay, so it will be much of the same. Okay, last question is question 14. 4 letters are chosen at random from the letters of the word tailored. What is the probability of getting a T and 3 vowels? Okay, so again, let's look at the probability of getting a T and then a vowel, a vowel, and a vowel. So I have 1 over 8. Then there is times 4 vowels out of the 7 left, 3 vowels out of the 6 left, and 2 vowels out of the 5 left. So I will have 1 over 70. Okay, now I'm looking at just arranging the T because the V's will slot in around the T. I can have the T in the first, the second, third, or the fourth, and the V's will slot around. So there are 4 ways that I can do this. Now I can also have it as 4P1, for arrange 1. All right. And that will give me 4 either. But you can do it a bit by logic here if you want. 1 over 70 times 4 will give you 2 over 35, which is the answer to the first one. The next one is 2 vowels and 2 consonants. Okay, so let's look at one of the probabilities. So the probability that we've got vowel, vowel, consonant, consonant. So I have 4 vowels and 4 consonants. So let's start. We've got vowel, 4 out of 8. Then I've used 1, 3 out of 7. I'm back to having 4 consonants, but there's only 6 letters left, and 3 consonants, and only 5 letters left. Okay, which will give me 3 out of 35. And again, a lot of people got that answer, but where you now have to look at it is I don't have to just have it vowel, vowel, consonant, consonant. There is different orders for this. Now I've got 2 things. I've got vowels and consonants, and I can't look at arranging both of them. But if I look at how I arrange the 2 vowels, then that will tell me all of the positions because the C's will just slot in around the vowels. So I have 4P2, which will give me 6 possible ways of arranging these 4 letters. Okay. Excuse me. So then I've got 3 out of 35 times 6, which will give me 18 out of 35. Okay, these are really useful questions because they go through using permutations, okay, which a lot of questions in the book, especially in your book, don't use, and you do need to know about them for the leading.